Hello, my name is Ann, and today we'll be talking about a greatsword tutorial, which is a little bit different for me, but I see a lot of people struggling to pick up the weapon and land some of these slower, larger, harder hitting attacks like True Charge Slash and thus miss out on damage, and I figured it would be helpful to just talk about it. There's a concept in the game called punishment, where every time a monster uses a move, it has a set animation, and during those animations there are windows in which you can punish the monster with your attacks for large amounts of damage. Greatsword thrives off of maximizing their punish windows and has many tools to make them larger to enable us to land things like True Charge Slash. So, I don't want to waste too much time with this intro, and we should really just get started. Let's start by breaking down a monster's move animation into three distinct parts. The first part is startup. This is the windup of the move where we can anticipate that an attack is coming, we can see which attack it probably is, and we can go ahead and position ourselves correctly to avoid it and punish it correctly. The next part is going to be the active part. This is when the move starts to have an active hitbox that can hit us, hurt us, send us flying. Obviously, we want to avoid those hitboxes and set up for the next phase of the attack, which is going to be recovery. During this period of the animation, the monster does not have an active hitbox anymore, but it still needs to finish the attack animation. It's still committed to doing this. During this period of time, the monster is not dangerous, and we know exactly where they're going to be and how long they're going to be there. So this is where we're going to be looking to get most of our punishes in. Let's go ahead and look at a move from Gossarog as an example. So we see his arm go up, and that's going to be the start of the move. He's committed to it. We know it's happening. We can move out the way and prepare for a punish. We see the active part as when his arm's coming down. It has a hitbox that we need to avoid. And then we're going to see the recovery animation where his arm gets stuck in the ground. This happens every single time. It's long, it's telegraphed, it's big and juicy, and tells every greatsword player, hey, I want to die. That's what he's telling us. So what we need to do is we need to punish moves when we see recovery like this. Let's look at some of what our punishes could possibly be. First up, you have the Draw Slash. You can do this move from Sheathed, which means it's really easy to position, and most monsters leave just enough recovery on their attacks where you can squeeze in a level 3-1 while using Focus 3. Do remember though that a lot of recovery animations move the monster's head around, so plan for that. When Magnus' tail gets stuck, for example, I like to use the tip of his tail as a reference point for about where his head is going to end up. Learning how to punish with Draw Slash is really just the beginning of the greatsword journey though. The actual endgame is landing True Charge Slash and getting those big juicy punishes with huge ass numbers as often as possible. Doing this though can be really tricky because the fastest ways to cheat out TCS are still just too slow, too clunky, and they will not fit in that recovery animation period of most monster attacks. However, there is a way around this, and the answer is Tackle. Our Tackle has super armor, which allows us to tank through that active portion of a monster's move, and it raises our slash level. So for a normal charge slash, we can go to strong with it. We can go from strong to true. So if we're charging to strong, and then we tackle through a monster's attack, we'll already be charging a true charge slash when that monster's recovery period begins, and this gives us absolutely bonkers punishment opportunities. So here's a pretty simple punish on Magnamala that's guaranteed. I see he's going to be doing this little combo sequence. I draw, go into strong, tackle through his attack, which puts me into TCS, and that's a guaranteed level 2 TCS every single time. Another pretty common sequence is to just punish a monster with the fully charged Draw Slash, go into strong, and just see what the hell it does. And if it does something that's punishable with TCS, it's very simple to just tackle and get that TCS off, and that's big damage. But this comes with a risk if you're just being wrong. This is actually a risk-reward situation. So if you're wrong, there is a backup plan to try to recover it, and that plan is to cancel the charge with the tackle, use the Soakbind to chase back after the monster, and then attempt to get a better punish from there. Going even further, you can get some pretty wild looking punishes with this if you have the monster knowledge available to you. Against Nargacuga, I know they like to do this little series of attacks where he does like slash, a second slash, and then a big stupid pounce at you. So when he's getting ready to do the pounce, I space myself out, draw, go into strong charge, tackle when he pounces on me, and he's going to do a little taunt animation. And that extends his recovery by quite a bit. It happens every time he does this move, and that gets TCS every time he does this move if you're looking for it. Let's get a little bit fancier and start incorporating ACS into our gameplay. Adamant Charge Slash is a Soakbind move that allows us to gap close, super armor, and advance to a slightly stronger Storm Charge Slash, all for the cost of one wire bug. What this means is that we could punish moves from far away by just slipping through their active frames, and we may be able to skip to TCS very quickly from having our weapon out. One of the simplest ways to use ACS is just chase down a move that goes in an awkward direction and then tank a hit and hit the monster with the ACS in and of itself, which deals really good damage and adds up to some mounting. But you can also chase down moves in a similar fashion and then just tackle and TCS if there's a large enough punish window for you to do that. It's a pretty strong strategy. Another thing that you could do is use it to rectify mistakes. When Rajang does his little ball, he has two follow-ups he can do. He can lunge at you, or he can do the laser. If he stands still far enough away and just charge at level 3, you'll hit the lunge very, very consistently, but if he does the laser, you can simply bail out of the charge draw slash, cancel that into ACS and slide over to him and give him a little bit of a love tap. And let's cap off ACS with a really fun Magmalo punish. Whenever he does his tail laser, you can see it very clearly with the startup and simply draw, and then ACS a little bit past the tip of his tail. He'll turn to look at you, and he'll do a little bit of a taunt. You have plenty of time to tackle and then let that TCS rip and get some big fat damage on him. To cap all this off real quick, I should mention that against a monster like Rajang, who likes to attack and move through you, you may not find many punish opportunities with TCS by simply trying to tackle through them in TCS. And in this case, having the ability to tank the hit with Rage Slash and then turn around opens up a valuable new punishment opportunity to you you would not otherwise have. And that's going to about do it for this video. There are a few extra things I could get into involving positioning and punishing expected monster behavior, or looking to extend punishes with flinch and part break thresholds, or punishing for KO as status specific things, but that goes well beyond the scope of this video and is getting into speedrunner territory. So let's try to keep it really simple. The main takeaway is that you can see a monster doing a move, identify it with its startup, and then know that it has a set punishable recovery window at the very end of it. As you learn more of these monsters' moves and when they may or may not be using them, hopefully you'll be able to land more charge slashes, ACS, SCS, TCS, whatever version of CS your heart desires, and that you have a great and wonderful time using the Great Sword from here on out. And yeah, I'm about out of things to say, so thank you so much for sticking with me so far and watching the whole video, and maybe we'll see you another time.